The entire baseball world has been turned completely upside down today, and the shockwaves from what has just been announced are being felt in every single corner of the sport. What started as what appeared to be a routine game between the Kansas City Royals and the Los Angeles Dodgers has now transformed into the most explosive and controversial story in the entire history of Major League Baseball. The news that has just been confirmed by the league itself has left fans, players, coaches, analysts, and officials completely stunned and struggling to process what they are hearing. Nobody who woke up this morning could have imagined that by the end of the day, the sport of baseball would be changed forever. What exactly happened on that field that was so serious, so shocking, and so completely unacceptable that it forced the MLB to respond with the most severe punishment in the entire history of the sport? Who is the Royals player at the center of this historic controversy? What did they do to Shohei Ohtani that crossed every line imaginable and left an entire stadium frozen in stunned silence? And what does this unprecedented punishment mean for the future of the Kansas City Royals, for the player involved, and for the sport of baseball as a whole? Every single fan across the country and around the world is demanding answers right now. To truly understand the gravity of what occurred and why the MLB responded the way it did, it is essential to set the scene of what was happening in the moments leading up to the incident. The matchup between the Royals and the Dodgers had already been generating enormous attention and excitement across the baseball world for days before the first pitch was even thrown. Whenever Shohei Ohtani steps onto a baseball field, the energy inside the stadium reaches a level that is unlike anything else in professional sports. Fans pack every single seat, cameras follow his every movement, and the electricity in the air is something that even the most seasoned veterans of the sport say they have never experienced with any other player in the modern era. The game itself had been intensely competitive from the very beginning. Both rosters were playing with maximum effort and intensity, and the atmosphere inside the stadium reflected just how much was at stake for both sides. Players on both teams were locked in, focused, and determined to give everything they had for their organizations and their fans. It was in this highly charged and emotionally intense environment that the incident occurred, catching absolutely everyone inside that stadium completely off guard and sending a wave of shock and disbelief rippling through the crowd that has not subsided since. Eyewitnesses who were present at the scene describe what happened as something they never expected to see on a professional baseball field in their entire lives. Multiple sources confirm that the incident was sudden, deliberate, and completely unprovoked by Ohtani in any way. Security personnel stationed around the field immediately recognized the seriousness of what had just occurred and rushed onto the diamond within seconds. Coaches from both dugouts sprinted toward the scene, players from both rosters moved instinctively toward the center of the action, and the crowd, which had been roaring with excitement just moments earlier, fell into a deep and uncomfortable silence that blanketed the entire stadium like nothing anyone present had ever experienced before. Those who witnessed it firsthand say that the look on Ohtani's face in the immediate aftermath was something that nobody who was there will ever be able to forget. The Japanese superstar, who is universally known for his calm, composed, and professional demeanor in every situation, appeared visibly shaken in a way that his teammates and coaches say they have genuinely never seen before. Medical staff from the Dodgers rushed to his side immediately, and it was clear to everyone watching that what had just happened was far beyond the boundaries of anything that could be dismissed or minimized in any way. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts, who was one of the first people to reach Ohtani's side after the incident, faced a packed and completely silent press room when he stepped up to the podium following the game. The expression on his face told the entire story before he even spoke a single word. Roberts began by saying that in over 30 years of involvement in professional baseball, first as a player and then as a manager, he had never witnessed anything remotely close to what he saw on that field today. He said that his hands were shaking when he first reached Ohtani, and that the only thing on his mind in that moment was making sure that his player was okay. Roberts confirmed that Ohtani had been immediately evaluated by the Dodgers' full medical team following the incident and that the organization was monitoring his condition extremely closely. He said that the health and well-being of Shohei Ohtani was the only priority for the entire Dodgers organization at this moment, and that everything else, including the outcome of the game itself, was completely secondary. Roberts paused and took a visible breath before adding that he had spoken personally with Ohtani in the clubhouse after the game and that what Shohei said to him in that conversation had moved him deeply and reminded him once again of the extraordinary character of the man wearing the Dodgers uniform. Freddie Freeman, who had been just a short distance away when the incident occurred, was visibly emotional when he addressed reporters in the clubhouse after the game. Freeman said that his immediate reaction was one of complete disbelief, followed almost instantly by a surge of protectiveness for his teammate and friend. He said that every single player on the Dodgers roster considers Shohei Ohtani not just a teammate but a brother, and that seeing a brother treated the way Ohtani was treated today was something that shook every single person in that clubhouse to their absolute core. Freeman did not mince words when asked directly about the Royals player responsible for the incident. He said firmly and clearly that what happened today was a cheap shot in every sense of the word, completely deliberate, completely unprovoked, and completely beneath the standard of professionalism that every player in this league is expected to uphold every single time they step onto a baseball field. Freeman said that Ohtani has never been anything but respectful, gracious, and professional toward every opponent he has ever faced, and that what was done to him today was an absolute disgrace to the sport that they all love. Mookie Betts, speaking with reporters shortly after Freeman, described the moment of the incident in vivid and emotional detail. Betts said that he heard the reaction of the crowd before he even fully registered what had happened with his own eyes, and that the sound of 50,000 people going completely silent all at once was one of the most unsettling things he had ever experienced in his entire career. He said that in that fraction of a second of silence, every single person inside that stadium understood simultaneously that something had gone very, very wrong. Betts revealed that after the incident, the mood inside the Dodgers dugout and clubhouse was one of quiet but intense solidarity. He said that nobody needed to make speeches or declarations because every single player already knew exactly how they felt and exactly where they stood. Betts said that the team united around Ohtani immediately and completely, and that the message from every corner of the clubhouse was simple and unanimous. They were standing with Shohei, they were standing for what was right, and they fully trusted the MLB to deliver the response that the situation demanded and deserved. On the Royals side, manager Matt Quatraro faced what sources describe as the most difficult and uncomfortable press conference of his entire managerial career. Quatraro stepped to the podium looking visibly pale and deeply shaken, fully aware that the entire baseball world was watching and waiting for the organization to account for what one of their players had done. He began by offering a direct and unreserved apology to Shohei Ohtani, to the Los Angeles Dodgers organization, to the fans who witnessed the incident, and to the sport of baseball as a whole. He said that what occurred today was indefensible, inexcusable, and entirely contrary to every value and standard that the Kansas City Royals organization stands for. Quatraro confirmed that the Royals had immediately cooperated with MLB investigators from the very first moment and that the organization had already begun conducting its own thorough internal review of the incident. He said that the Royals would accept whatever punishment the league deemed appropriate without question or dispute, because they understood completely that the severity of what occurred demanded a response of equal severity. Quatraro's voice was heavy and his words were carefully measured, but the weight of what had happened was impossible to conceal behind any amount of professional composure. Then came the announcement that stopped the entire baseball world completely in its tracks. The MLB released its official statement confirming that the Royals player responsible for the cheap shot on Shohei Ohtani had been issued a permanent ban from Major League Baseball, effective immediately and without the possibility of appeal. The statement from Commissioner Rob Manfred described the incident as the most egregious, deliberate, and unacceptable violation of professional conduct that the league had encountered in its modern history. Manfred stated personally that the unanimous decision to issue a lifetime ban had been reached swiftly and with complete conviction by every official involved in the review process. The reaction from across the baseball world was instantaneous and overwhelming. Within minutes of the announcement, the story dominated every sports platform, every news channel, and every social media feed across the country and around the globe. Former players, Hall of Famers, current stars, and supporters from every franchise in the league all responded with the same message of shock at the severity of what had occurred and full, unequivocal support for the MLB's historic decision to protect the integrity of the sport and the safety of its greatest player. As for Shohei Ohtani, sources close to the Japanese superstar confirm that he is currently resting comfortably and is surrounded by the full support of his teammates, his family, and the entire Dodgers organization. Those who have spoken with him since the incident say that Ohtani has responded with the same quiet dignity, grace, and strength of character that has defined every chapter of his extraordinary life and career. He has not yet made any public statement, but sources say that he is deeply and genuinely moved by the massive outpouring of love and support that has poured in from fans, players, and people from every corner of the world since the news broke. Manager Dave Roberts closed his press conference with words that perfectly captured the feeling of an entire sport in this moment. He said that Shohei Ohtani is bigger than any single incident, bigger than any controversy, and bigger than any punishment that the league could hand down. He said that Ohtani will return to that field, he will pick up his bat, and he will remind the entire world once again exactly why he is the greatest baseball player alive. The baseball world is waiting, united, and standing firmly behind the man who has given so much to a sport that loves him back with everything it has. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting and up-to-date information.